You're not supposed to
Tonight
tell
I'm gonna be playing the part of Spangaluxy, and
Spangle.
oh wait, you're here. Never mind. I guess I don't need this. This is so posh.
Yeah, I think it's comfy.
It's great,
Are
and
we-
it has
are
a
we
cell
sure-
phone holder.
Are we sure Kurt's gonna be on time?
He
Already late.
is late.
No, he's on time.
Wait, is he
For
on?
him.
Up to 10 after is on time.
Oh, well then he's spot on. So here, I'm gonna give him the old offline screen because he needs that shame. If we don't have shame, what do we have?
I'm not sure that they're really so terrible as to be shame-inducing. Maybe there's, some work that needs to be done there.
Okay, I can
Maybe
adjust
there's
them.
Oh,
I can fix it.
Perhaps we can find new ways to motivate them.
I mean, I don't know that it's gonna change anything until this gets like picked up by some blog that's like, hey, check out this cool D&D group of people that. No, it's not gonna happen. So I don't think that it's ever gonna be a problem. But it's always worth a shot, and it's good to shame when shame is appropriate, and Kurt deserves the shame for being late.
We say that now, but our kid's going to be like, Dad, you can't late shame. Oh.
You know what? That's a really good point. Late shaming is a major problem in this country, and I think that when used properly, it's a good motivator. But it's kind of antiquated. It's a little bit dated, and people that really adhere to it are kind of being looked at in a poor light. So we'll try to stop the late shaming.
Wait, people who adhere to being on time, or people who adhere to?
It's not
late
important.
shaming?
Let's not try to overthink it.
No. Let's nail it all down.
I think that people that late shame other people are probably the problem. They need to go. So, but it's all good because he'll be here. He said he'd be
He's
5
not late.
minutes late. He's got 2 more minutes.
To be on time.
he's never on time, so 5 minutes from his normal away time sounds about right.
We want to say hi to the lawgiver. This is rare that we get time before the actual stream to say hi to anybody that's watching. But what's up, man? Hope you enjoy what we got going on tonight. Tonight should be a fun one. I'm 99% sure that we're not going to just sit around and do nothing. But there's always that 1%. It's very possible. So
Let's write some books tonight.
Yeah,
As
that's
characters. It'd be fun.
Is that
some
not what we do?
in-character book writing. I think that Kair can't because he can't read. Can you write?
I can
Let's teach you
write.
to read all night. That'd be great.
You just can't. And can you read what you can write? Was that a character choice you made? Okay.
Yeah, Kair can read what's in his journal,
Okay. All right.
and
But-
his patron writes him notes in it too.
So
Okay.
you have your own language.
So,
It's
So
still
this-
language.
I think
you
other people
not
can
being able
probably.
to read, is it that you can't actually comprehend what it is, or it like hurts you, or what? I don't get it.
I don't see
I don't
letters
just-
when I look at letters.
Yeah, it's just like it's like
Jumbles?
a dyslexia kind of
Okay.
thing, but like a magical
thought it-
dyslexia.
Okay, I thought that was like a phobia.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
My
No, he enjoyed
My-
reading.
yeah. Kair likes reading. He saw a horrible book that screwed with his head. His
Mhm.
patron removed his ability to perceive what he's looking at as words, so that he does not see any of what he saw in the book anymore. So that makes it so he can only read, and he's hoping to fix that at some point in time. He doesn't know how. He thinks maybe if he takes down the thing that he saw, that might make him better.
Well,
Hopefully.
I mean, that's how I learned to read. So
Yeah,
tracks.
fighting.
It should
Totally.
work. Fighting
I
demons
tell you.
was
But
really.
he
my
already knew
main
how to
thing.
read.
me as a player, I have very mixed feelings about that though, because me having an almost teenager who's coming into pre-puberty and has all kinds of filthy jokes. He doesn't quite know what they mean, but it's sexual, so it must be hilarious. And on and on and on. And then he, on his Kindle reader, he had gotten into my account or his mother's account and read, I don't know what exactly he read, but it must have been like a traumatizing, an unconsensual passage. And he's like, I didn't know it was like that. I'm done. So I was like,
Think that
whatever.
now.
Yeah. So now he's like, done. It's like, great. Now it's like whenever he starts ramp up again, I was like, do I need to get that book out again? He's like, nope, sorry, okay, done.
I want to know what this book is now.
Yeah, what do you have on your Kindle?
Maybe you don't want to know.
Clan of the Cave Bear.
Was
That
it
had
like
some
the road?
reference.
It's Clan of the Cave Bear.
That's no good. All right, I guess we can turn on your video source here, Mr. Clovis.
Oh.
Right on time.
Well, I know I'm late.
No,
Late
I
on
just said
time,
right
you're
on
good.
time. You're good.
If we get started before 8:20, I think it's a good day.
Yeah, that's a win. Like we can't be
Yeah.
upset with anything at that point. And as we see with your screen, you are important. So that's important. Yeah, bards
I
and
love
wizards
that
and
every
wizards are
time.
never late.
It's so-
Makes perfect sense.
Oh man.
Yeah. So how was everybody's week? I had a good one. We did some social distancing, hanging out, and my mom turned 39.
39 again.
39
Mother said
again?
39 when I spoke to her. She said it'd be strange
39.
if she was younger than her kids.
Yeah, no.
It used to be 29 for a really long time. Now it's 39.
She had to ask me. She was like, "Wait, how old are you?" I have to make sure that I'm a little bit older than you, but not much.
Yeah, don't want to give it away.
Yeah, I was like, "Mom, you didn't have me when you were 3. That's weird." And or maybe, so I saw her on her birthday for a few minutes. I went over at night, like in the 11th hour. I didn't expect that I was going to be down there, but ended up down in DC and was able to drop by and say hi. So.
Oh, you didn't come say hi to us and see how it is.
Oh, was it your birthday? Was it your 39th birthday? Like,
You didn't see me for my 31st birthday?
yeah, 31
Oh.
sucks. There's nothing exciting or fun or new or monumental about the 31st.
Nope.
31st birthday.
31st.
That's a Colin Firth's birthday. 31st. So yeah, no, I saw Mom. That was really cool, and saw Ricardo on throughout the day. He came by, and he's in from LA, and that was a lot of fun. And hung out with Hava and Laura, and it was just a good old time. We had like a social distancing picnic kind of thing with pizza. Is it pizza?
Ooh, delicious pizza.
Yeah, the
Courtney had pizza today.
traditional picnic food. So
I recently discovered DoorDash. I don't know if anyone has done DoorDash.
Oh, we use that.
yeah.
No. I mean, I've
Well,
done Ding Dong Dash. I don't know if that's the same.
Oh,
It's
that's
similar. It's very similar. Only instead
But you leave
instead
food.
of leaving bags of poop, you leave food.
Oh yes.
What? I know that.
Oh, there you go.
guacamole.
You guys can take your little ice cream sandwiches that get served and get stuffed. No, but it's a bit behind
Look at that beautiful
Well, yeah.
gluten-free bread and wonderful. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. It's
I made
it's
I
wonderful.
made bread today. I made
Oh,
two
my.
types of soda bread.
Oh,
What?
the old soda bread.
What is
Yeah.
I love soda
in the
bread.
middle of that sandwich?
It's a turkey burger. I don't
Oh,
know.
it's turkey. Okay.
I don't know.
Court and I make chicken burgers a lot, so wasn't sure.
I think that's a chicken sandwich. That's not a burger.
This is a burger.
No, I didn't say yours. I'm saying if they make chicken burgers, I don't think they're burgers.
Well, we
They're
get
burgers.
ground chicken,
Well, this
You
is
mean
a
ground
turkey
chicken?
burger, actually.
and
Yeah.
we make it in a foreman.
Ew, that's weird. I don't like
Ground,
that.
ground beef upsets my stomach, so I can't do it.
I don't want to get into this. A burger's just a sandwich too. But anyways,
That's fair. Right.
It's a hot dog a sandwich.
yes.
This
let's
was
continue.
a long discussion, and we really shouldn't get into it because it gets Fritch all tilted. He's not
So wait a
wrong.
minute.
I think I need some
So wait a minute.
sandwiches.
So
He's not
Fritz,
wrong.
So I just want to ask because I did. So when you have a sandwich, you can have it on a bun. Like a sesame seed bun is like what defines a sandwich?
Like a subcategory of a sandwich.
Between bread.
Okay.
What about an open face sandwich?
So
Well, I think that
the
that's
lawgiver
nothing.
brings up a good point. He said tacos are sandwiches. It's fine, and it's in between two bread type products. It just happens to
Oh,
be
it's
connected
not,
and
but
wrapped.
It's
Yeah,
up.
actually,
it is
it's not,
fun.
it's encompassed by one piece of bread.
Yeah, it's not.
But if you have a
two.
sub and is a sub that encompasses the meat on all sides, is that a sandwich?
Some
We're about
subs
to
come
lose
between
Fritz. He's
two.
just gonna leave. He doesn't want to hear our crap.
No, I've been through all this. I don't need to reiterate points made in the past. I'm good.
There was a heated Facebook post many moons ago that that Fritch got very passionate about. So he stands.
Well,
by it.
should I look up a GIF of hot
You know
dog
what?
sandwiches?
I will mute you. I will mute you, and I will disable your video feed, and I will control your character. How about that? I don't need more people to play D&D. I can control everything. No, it's Jiff, and don't do that again, please. It's not funny.
Oh, I'm not alone. Yes, I told you, Anthony. It's Jiff.
It
If you
is
went to
Jiff,
Five
yes, because
Guys and
that's what it actually
no,
is.
It's
What?
not.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. I'm not
Hey,
getting into that.
Sarah.
Hello.
Uh-oh, I think she's making his computer freeze. Well, there's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. It's great to see you.
I bet she can't hear.
Well, no, she usually can't hear. It's just kind of one of her things. She's hard of hearing, so
Oh.
saying she can't hear is yeah, that's about right. That tracks.
Okay.
It's great to see you. I'm so glad you made an appearance on our show here, Sarah. Bye, Sarah.
Kurt muted.
Oh yeah, Kurt muted and we can't hear him, and the realization is now. And Kurt.
Not yet. Nope. He still has no idea.
Nope,
Maybe
nope,
still
still
on
muted.
purpose.
I think he knows. He knows.
No. I
Oh,
fixed it.
oh,
Don't
I
worry, guys.
know.
I think it's great.
Oh, yeah, you guys are just
It's
jerks.
so
You're so
funny.
silly.
Ha 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 ha.
All right.
We'll
Kurt,
wait.
Yeah, no, we can wait.
What? What do you want? Jesus. I was doing something else. We have lives.
I know you do. I thought you would have gotten done with that in the first like 10 minutes of this show. So
I was making bread.
soda bread. We're very excited about it. I want to know who wants to give a recap of what happened last time on the Real Housewives of New Vandalin. Anthony, is it you? Because Kurt is eating and Spangle's dancing. Corbin is nodding. Beatrice is moving her hair. You are the one.
Oh.
Do I have inspiration or?
No, you don't. So you can go for it if you want.
I'll do it, but
Oh, thank
I
goodness.
feel like I steal it from people. I don't want to.
No,
it-
you're
No,
good.
no. you
Anthony's
can-
the
let it-
happiest if you steal it from him right now. He does not want to tell the actual recap.
Okay.
He doesn't want inspiration. I'll give him a disadvantage for it. Don't worry.
Ah.
Oh, look at your dog. So
She's on camera. On yours. Where she was.
So Toblin has hurt feelings. Like he woke up after like we questioned him. Some might say it was torturing,
Torture.
but it wasn't torture. It was just a stiff questioning, and he's upset because he thought we were friends. I tried to tell him we're friends. Like I just need to know what's going on or Clovis needs to know what's going on in Fandolin. And we went into his office. His office is a mess. Ledgers were empty. Papers were blank in the trash can. So we then went. Where's that piece of paper? Spangle went to the goat pen, and then so we're starting to talk, and Spangle was like, "Listen, guys," I guess she was like, "Guys, we should talk in the goat pen." And I was like, that's what we should do. And she's been training them. And what happened was, in the goat
That's like
pen,
the fantasy equivalent of like talking when the shower's running, so like people can't listen in on you, because all the goats are like sitting there bleeding or whatever it is ghosts do. I don't know. I'm like a city girl and stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no,
Your meal or your story.
It gives him an opportunity to take a nice big bite of his soda bread. And Fritz, yeah, your dog is on your bed getting something behind the pillow. Yeah, you might want to check that out.
No, he hides things he puts things under the pillow sometimes. So.
Presents.
presents for you later. And so Beatrice took the paper that was blank and cast detect magic on it. And when she did that, the area shifted, and this is something we've experienced before. Even though people didn't remember it, the DM wasn't irritated at this point, I think, but we heard glass breaking in the northeast. We went to look, and I think we found the glass. We couldn't find what the thing was, and at that point, the shadows were looking very different. So we have a couple hours before the show, and we went back to the apple orchard, and we were looking around to find this blood trail, and we found it, and then it just disappeared. Yeah, but Corbin couldn't find it. I think Corbin actually rolled like a real tracking roll, like he was actually a ranger for a minute, and not a jerk stealing people's sticks. I'll get to that in a second. And yeah, he was really just a stick in the mud. But anyway, sorry. That's a dad joke. I'm sorry, I'm a dad.
It's okay, you're a dad.
So we went back and Beatrice cast Detect Magic again, and we saw the magic remnants, and again the shadows change, and at this point, I think crazy Clovis was able to like convince Kair to like we're gonna Kair. So Clovis stuck a stick in the dirt and then traced the shadow because he was like, I gotta find out what's happening, and he's like, this is crazy. This is but at that point, I think Spangle became kind of bored with what was happening, and she was like, I'm gonna go train the goats again, you know, because she's got a plan. I mean, we've got a plan. We got a side plan. We got a side hustle going on too that we're preparing for. And then, as the detect magic was coming down, and we were all like, Kair and Clovis were sitting around. Corbin goes ahead, takes the stick, and rips it out of the ground. But right at that point, the spell ended, and Clovis saw something that no one else saw, which makes him even more of a crazy person. And because he is like, you know, trying to solve a mystery, Shaggy over here. I'm Velma, clearly, you know, and you know, I don't know, you are Fred, maybe. You're like, you know, trying to think who you are. But anyway, you know, Corbin like threw the stick away. Clovis was pissed as hell and then went off into the woods. And I don't know. And then at that point, I think the team decided to look for him. They don't know where he is. Only the DM and Spangle know where he is, but the team doesn't. Unless you watch the video, then you know where he is.
I don't know. I did a pretty good job of keeping it off the video, I think.
Mm.
It may have been on for like, I don't know, like a few seconds, but not the entire thing, I don't think. I don't know. It's not important. Nobody watched the video. It's really not a problem. So we should be okay.
Oh, nice.
I don't like that. Is there talk behind? Whatever. I don't care. You guys, you do your thing. You have your little inside jokes. So that is a wonderful recap. I will give you your needed advantage. Make sure you, when you tink your silverware next to that, it's right next to the mic. That would be great. I just want to make sure we catch that on the mic check here. Let's see. Clovis advantage. And you done got it. So to answer your question, Courtney, yes, everybody has potions. At least now.
I'm really glad I didn't
Thank you. I
do
need
that.
more chips.
Yeah, please. Oh my gosh, with the chips and the clinking and all of the noise.
I stopped.
It wasn't you.
So I believe what we left with was it's about an hour. Oh, there is one important thing that you did leave out. Right around the time you convinced Chaz, the resident drow, who is the band manager, to come by and take a look at this glass that you had seen shattered, and he reluctantly.
Point of order, you said resident, but he's like from far away, so just to point that out.
No, he in these few episodes he has been the resident drow. He is. You're right. He is not a resident of Newfoundland. But he reluctantly left the Stonehill Inn, which he on many times said is all that he is concerned about while here in Newfoundland, and went and checked it out in the little building to the northeast, right over in this area where we got that ping action going on. And he took a look, and he seemed like you were wasting his time, showing him a small, tiny little pile of glass, and then very reluctantly posed a question to you, Clovis, of whether or not you were in it to become famous. If that was your end goal. It's not what he offered. He offered you a chance to prove yourself against the band, and have instead of opening for the band, be a part of a battle of the bands. and we are an hour from showtime. So he had mentioned that you're going to need to field at least a couple other instruments on the stage. It won't be just you doing a solo set, and would like to have at least the same amount of people that the band has, which is 4, and you guys have 5. So you can obviously bring as many people on as you want, as long as you field at least a full band of 4. If you want to leave somebody off, that's up to you. If somebody's not musically inclined and you feel like they're gonna ruin your set, I'd probably keep them off the stage. So that's the only thing that I thought needed to be brought up in from your recap.
Right, I forgot about that.
Other than that, great, as Tony the Tiger would say. Which we have now gotten Frosted Flakes again in a large box of it, like the double bag from Costco.
Costco.
So thank you. You've started a
Awesome.
trend in our home, so I appreciate
It should be a trend, and
It's-
everyone should, as every spoonful, they're great.
That's how I'd eat it every morning that I've had it.
It takes a long time to have breakfast.
It's worth it. I feel like I've committed to the goof, so it's really not anything I want to change. So we that's where we're at. We are in Newfoundland. You're an hour from showtime, and you guys are split up. You done split up the group. Not a problem, probably, right?
We'll see.
We shall
Well,
see.
the group is real split up.
Oh, it's split up.
It's three different areas.
So, who wants to go? Who wants to do it? Never split up the group. That's the truth. Who wants to start us off? I think that the main contingent that is Kyra, Beatrice, and Corbin, our big talkers, are going to have to make our first move. I would like you guys to take the first steps. If I remember correctly,
I know the last thing that I did was I was near the caravan and I was looking around and I couldn't spot any tracks for
Yeah.
For Clovis.
So you guys are right over in this area.
Yeah. So I guess we could go check near the goats, would be my guess. If you guys wanted to do that, if we're still looking around for Clovis.
I feel like if he wants to be away from us, he wouldn't go right to the one person that we would know he would go to, which would be Spangle.
The person he gets along with the best?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
would
Where would you like to look then?
I don't know. I just said what he probably isn't.
Okay, now that we got what you don't want to do out of the way. Corbin, where should we where would you like to look?
It's like making dinner decisions.
He's probably got to head back to warm up and play soon, right?
I would hope so.
Why don't we head back to the inn?
Okay. Let's go.
Let's go
Alright.
to the
Inn's
inn.
not super far anyways.
So you guys it's right across the street. So you guys can make your way over to the inn, and Tolbin is, as you walk in, he's buzzing by and making those last minute preparations for everything, and seems to be very much like a chicken with his head cut off, running around. Not there's no blood or anything, but
Oh, okay.
it's more just like it's a saying.
Just like it.
Yeah, it's similar to. We've got a simile.
Terrifying.
So he's running around and getting dotting all his I's and crossing all his T's, and making sure that everything is in order. You notice that there still has not been a single person that has shown up that for this humongous concert that you expected maybe a larger crowd for. You don't see any new faces in the inn. The one waitress is there that you've encountered, and she's similarly just running around, kind of getting tables ready and sweeping and everything. You've just kind of poked your head in, and actually there's you see that the tables have all been rearranged, and the middle of the tavern area has been cleared out, and all the tables have been pushed to the sides. So it seems like some of the tables have been moved out of the main area for the inn as well.
So Jay, what I'd like to do is where I am, I'd like to like take out like some of my old, like I'm sitting and stewing, but I'm also thinking. I'm like, okay, so where have I heard of this before? Is this something like? And I just want to go through like my College of Lore, like kind of books and notes from like my travels to see if I like I've seen so the kind of this kind of like, because I believe that we're under a spell. So I would like to roll an Arcana check.
Okay, sure.
Is that okay?
Specifically to see if
Specifically, specifically to remember if I know an illusionary spell of like a large illusionary spell that we might be under, or being manipulated by.
Sure. Yeah, you know, I mean, you're sitting in the place where you are, not giving anything away. And you're
Just one
in
hit,
that place
that's all
where
I
you
need.
live.
you're racking your brain, and you know that you've read of these magics that certainly have illusory properties that can completely change the way that you see the world and see individuals. You've even experienced people that have used like disguise spells to change their appearance and
Right. I mean, I'm familiar with it. Like,
Right.
I'm familiar with it too. Like, so, but do I know? So, do I feel like I know like this is an illusion spell? Like, do I feel like we're under maybe an illusion spell?
No, I mean everything that you think, everything that you remember about illusionary magic is that kind of once you touch it, there's it's easy to discern that it's no longer real, and you are aware that there is some seriously high level illusory magic, but that maybe tricks a person into thinking there's a form there, but it's one of those things that as you come closer and closer in contact, unless you're being like your mind has actually been taken advantage of and is being controlled, you don't you would be able to discern things as you touch them at least. So
Okay.
but you've never heard of anything on like a large scale like that.
Like this.
Yeah.
But I don't get a sense it's like so it's not an illusionary magic, because I know that I eventually, through like an investigation, I would discern that the illusion is like faint. Like I would see through it eventually.
Yeah, you feel like that with your understanding of how illusions work, that tracks. That's the only thing. That's the part of the puzzle that doesn't quite add up for what you're thinking. It's kind of like you keep racking your brain about it, like wow, but illusions, and then there's like a line that goes like, but touching them, and then it's like no longer illusions, and then question mark.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, you keep circling back to this idea that there's something wrong, there's something amiss, there's something weird going on, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And for the folks down in the goat pen, what are you up to?
The one.
Go pen.
Goats are people too, Beatrice. Gosh.
Goat people.
Oh, I can't hear you, Spangle, if you are talking. Or are you just handling?
I don't think he is. He's just handling.
I think you may have muted unless you're just purposely not talking.
I did.
Okay.
So Spangle is handling her business.
Business.
That's good. All right. We've got animal handling taking place in the pen, and you do feel like you are making some progress with these goats.
They're stubborn little animals, but you just got to work with them long enough and hard enough, and gosh darn it, they'll like you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I believe we had determined that rosemary was that what we said, or thyme, or
I think so.
parsley,
I believe it was
sage?
rosemary. It was rosemary, because I'm sure I would have made like a whole bunch of time jokes between here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it was rosemary.
Well, you've had plenty of time to do it.
And it started.
So yeah, you are handling these goats. They are responding. You're taking care of business with the way that they are responding to your rosemary kind of bundle, and they do seem to actually be like following. Whenever you send me anything in the chat, Clovis, I want you to know that it's going to show up on stream. Just so
I know, but I'm hoping they're not watching it.
Well, they are.
I
They
read
are
the first
watching.
sentence.
So send
Oh,
it.
Jay scrolled up.
So send
I
it
send
for
it-
me
You
in
might send it
text.
text?
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
a much easier way to do it.
I assume everybody has been watching Avatar now that it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have. with
So,
the kids.
like, Spangle is basically, she's like a goat bender. She's kind of, and like, all the goats are like starting to kind of follow her. She's like kind of sending waves of goats back and forth by mage handing the
Are you the last
rosemary.
goat bender?
I am the last goat bender.
You're probably the first too, for what it's worth. I am impressed with your goat bending skills. They're off the charts. They're getting there. You're like Katara first season, and you're kind of getting there. You haven't quite made it to the South Pole to train, but you've learned. So we've got the crew that is in the inn who have observed the tavern. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll ask Tolbin if he's seen Clovis recently since we left.
Oh, I haven't seen anybody besides the back of my own two hands. I'm running around like a crazy man. Oh, I just need to get all these tables set, and as soon as one of them's not set, I see there's a pile of dust, and I'm so sorry. I haven't seen Clovis. Have you checked your rooms? I haven't been around. I've just kind of been taking care of business, getting everything set up.
Not yet, but we will. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help. Have you guys had any time to take a look at those books and all the papers that I gave you?
Not yet. Probably tomorrow.
Oh, I would very much appreciate all of the clerical help. Anything administrative you can do. We need it. The Stonehill Inn thanks you.
All right. So I guess do y'all want to head back to the room to check for Clovis?
Yeah, let's go search the rooms
Why not?
that we can legally access.
So,
All right.
that you can legally access.
What about the rooms that we've also snuck into that are empty? Maybe we should check those too.
It's an idea.
All right. I've got a dagger. I think we all have daggers.
So
We probably didn't lock them on the way out.
you probably didn't. So are you gonna go back to your room? You said.
Yeah, you guys, you want to stick together or split up?
Stick together.
Scooby Doo
together.
or okay.
No,
Don't ever split up the group.
That's
We've already
more than
fragmented
too
the
late.
group into 3.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can break
We
this up
got-
into a party of 5.
Yeah,
Great show.
everyone doing their own thing.
All
All
right.
right.
So you
So I
guys head up to your room. Excuse me, and you open the door, and it's just as you left it. Man, you guys just send in all the messages in the chat. Thanks a lot, Spangle. It's really helpful.
In my room. That's right. I missed it. Damn.
So the your room is exactly as you expect it to be. Nothing seems to have been jostled or changed. Everything is as you left it.
I know we have someone that can cast illusions and make it look like things are different. So I wouldn't mind taking a quick actual walk around the room while I make sure the walls are still the walls and all that stuff before we move on to the next room personally.
Yeah, absolutely. You go feeling around. You can do a perception check if you'd like. Let's see if you find anything fun and exciting in your room, in your own room.
15.
All right. So you do not. You're around there touching everything. If somebody was watching you, they would think you're crazy
They think
because you're
I'm
like
nuts.
you're hands on everything, like tapping and making sure it's physical and like touching the forms of everything and making sure there's depth to it and it's not just a cardboard cutout. And everything seems like it's in order and that everything is nothing is amiss. So your room seems to be a physical room that you have left things in, and those things still seem to be real physical items.
Okay. Do either of the Rangers have an idea? Other than trying more rooms.
I would
keep,
say you're
keep
just
searching, or maybe we could try our tracking skills and see if we see any clues or footprints or something. But that's all I can think of.
yeah. I agree.
Sure. So somebody
wanna
gonna
do a
roll like
check?
a survival check or an investigation check, or
What would you prefer?
what are you trying to do?
Well,
How exactly you're trying to do this?
Trying to see
whatever.
if there's any
Look
traces of
for tracks or traces from left behindings from something. I don't know.
After
sure.
after I walk around the room touching everything, I put my hand on both their shoulders, different heights, whatever, and I say good luck, and I cast guidance.
Okay.
And
So you guys both have an extra D4 on all of your checks there, your ability checks, and you can certainly do an investigation check to see if you can catch somebody's scent or you know the trail of Clovis.
All right,
if
let's
that's
take
who
a
you're
look.
looking for.
Uh,
Yeah, you
you can
don't
also
really
roll
catch.
D4, but it probably won't help.
Oh yeah, throw your D4 in there. So you can just roll that like separate from. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'll say
Not
that
bad.
with a 14, you walk out into the hallway. From you pick up maybe Clovis's like his shirt from the day before, and you give it like a nice long draw off it. You're like,
That's a bard. I'll be careful.
It's the good stuff. And you close your eyes and you kind of like put your hand up in the air and you're like feeling
Give
the
the old Joe
wind
Biden.
and it's just and then you feel like it's right in this direction and you take another deep breath in from in the hallway and you don't smell Clovis, but you do smell like there's like a perfumey smell, and it's just like a very like faint lavender perfume that you smell, but you don't smell any Clovis stank. Sorry. So,
Any luck, Corbin?
I'm sniffing stuff. I don't know.
Okay. I'm touching everything. You're sniffing stuff. This is a good time. We're having a good time here.
I usually don't do this when I'm tracking, so I don't know what I'm doing.
So you guys in the hallway at this point hear that there's somebody that calls down from the wing in which the band is staying in B4, and you hear them say, 30 minutes till showtime. You better be ready. And you recognize the voice as your best friend, your drow, and your resident drow, Spangle.
Yes, drow bag.
Spangle, you're looking at the ceiling now. This is cute,
I
man.
know it, but otherwise, like the
But do you?
bottom half of my head is disappearing under the.
All right. There we
So
go.
you're gonna
That's a lot better.
stand
That's so much better. Now we get to see your Shayna Punham. Look at you, so cute. So you hear that there is indeed a call time, 30 minutes till showtime. So time is a ticking, and you don't know where your lead is, nor have you done any practice as a band. I will say that is where we're at. How about
Can't practice without everyone.
how about the lost bard? What are we doing?
Maybe
Giving us
we should.
hints.
I texted you.
Oh, okay, nice. Wow, look at you.
Okay. And I think at about half an hour till, I think Spangle would realize that, nothing seems to be gearing up for this show, and feels like we're somewhat incumbent to make sure her boy is in good standings and ready to go for this show.
Okay.
So she too will join the fray, and I guess start by asking. I think first step would be into the room and ask Tolbin. Tolbin, hello. Have you seen Clovis?
Oh, I haven't seen Clovis, but I sure do hope he's ready in 30 minutes. I just heard the call. They're at Green. I think that they're gonna be going in less than 30. So I'm hoping that he's gonna be showing his face soon. Unless he's trying to pull one of those diva moves and he's the last one on stage and it's like this moment and oh gosh, that would be the worst. So he hasn't seen Clovis.
Okay.
But I did see your other friends. I believe they went to their room.
Okay, well, Spangle will go to her room.
Okay.
So Jade, I just keep texting you. So
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're plotting against us.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
No. I've got the text up now, so I will unless there's something that I miss, you can give me like a bird call, like, "Caw-caw," and then
Okay.
I'll look at my. But don't be like it. Yeah, you know what to do. So Spangle, you open your door and you walk into your room and your all of your things are as you expect them, but your window actually is open.
I'm glad you started the description as that, because Spangle's first thought was anybody messing with my stuff?
Well, you don't on entering the room. You don't notice that there's anything messed with, but you do notice that the window is open. There's a nice breeze that's kind of blowing through.
Spangle will immediately head across and stick her head out and look out and see if she sees anybody, especially anybody half the normal size of what a normal humanoid, should be sized as.
Yeah, no, you don't notice anybody peculiar around the building. You just see the open window, and maybe your like curtains are kind of like billowing in like with the light breeze.
Gonna let in all the dust and stuff. Gross. And I'll shut the window.
Okay. Give me a strength check. No, I'm just kidding. There's no strength check. They painted over it. It's stuck. It's just gonna be how it is. Yeah. So I know where you are, Clovis. Is there anything that you would like to do?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find. So the first thing I'd like to do is, without like, I mean, this is gonna be plain in character, guys. So you don't really know where I am, but I'm gonna have to. It's just too much to type to the DM at this point. So
Oh my god.
I'm really looking. I'm like, do I see any of the roadies? Or anybody? Is anybody here where I am?
Where you are, no. You don't notice any of the anybody that is from the band.
Okay. And I see what they wrote in on, right?
Yes.
I wanna go in it.
Okay.
I think I know where it is.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
you know where I
Now
am.
we do.
So you go into that thing that they think that they know where you are. Oh, that was a successful strength check, Spangle, just so you know.
Explode the window.
The window explodes into a billion pieces of glass.
We had to read.
You're in one of the things where you are, Clovis, and you are able to walk around. It's not like a huge one of those things. I think that they know that you're at the caravan, so I'm just gonna be okay saying that. And when you leave, you can text me where you're going. But you're able to walk around. There's like they're kind of like bunk bed setups for the inside the wagons. And it's not like a luxurious RV kind of setup, but it's a fantasy RV as far as I'm concerned. But it's not great. There's just their normal kind of belongings. The one that you went into happens to be the one that the roadies were traveling in, and not the band.
Are any of Chaz's like instruments in here, like his crystal balls, or?
There seem to be like bags and stuff, but you can't, without opening them up, it's unclear if they're anything of Chaz's or if this is mostly roadies.
Let's open them up.
Sure. So you open up the various bags and open and look through, and you find some nice instruments. Like they're well constructed instruments that you expect are the roadies, since they're not out on the stage at this point, and it's the roadies caravan. And you don't notice anything that jumps out at you that is particularly magical or mystical or Chaz-like. But you do find clothing and lots of like paraphernalia from the band that they've been traveling for some amount of time, and they've got all their curios and knickknacks. So but nothing seems magical or out of place.
Is there a trash can with papers?
Yeah, I'm sure there's trash cans. They're not animals.
If I go through, I start digging through the trash. Like basically, I'm looking for anything that is about like the wizards I saw, or anything like would be non-musical, like something that's like a letter to a loved one, like something like anything that's like not about the band.
Sure. So as you're going through the trash, you are really questioning whether or not you've made good choices in life, because this is like the trash of the roadies. And this is like there's gunk that's been just dumped in there that should have gone into a sink that just kind of went into a trash can. There's no liner in the trash can, so you don't like this stuff has been there. It's sitting in a stew. But you do find one piece of paper that looks like a little bit suspicious. But a lot of the ink has actually run off of it. And you see some. It just seems to like there's only partial words on it, and all you can make out is like it looks like .q, and then there seems to be like a list, and then there's something about keep quiet. Then there's on another line it says something about contact, and then on a different line further down with lots of blots on it, you see cast, and you just kind of, you're reading through it, and they're just kind of words that are out of context because you don't have the full like piece of paper.
Okay. I fold that paper up. I put it in my pocket.
Your pocket is messy because this is, like I said, this one is in like disarray. It's been sitting in muck and muck and yuck.
I try to clean it off the best I can, but I know
Sure.
it's like, yeah. And I'd like to go to the band's one now, if I can.
Sure. So you start making your way over to the band, and you are you notice that there is somebody that's off closer to the inn, not coming from the entrance of the inn, but actually closer over towards like the goat pen section, that is like peeking their head around the corner, kind of watching you go in and out of these various caravan vans.
So they're because like, well, so I'm here.
Yeah.
And they're is this the Stonehill Inn right there?
Yeah, they're right up here. They're right around this corner, and they kind of like, you just saw them for a second, and then they ducked around the corner right over towards where like the goat pens are.
Okay.
But you do notice, I mean, you recognize that they saw you come out of one and start your way over towards the next one.
Okay, I still like to proceed, but if I can open it, if this door is not locked or whatever, I'm going to like I'm going to do this more stealthily.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Oh. I'm going to use my inspiration.
You're my inspiration. Okay, that's way more stealthy. You make your way over to the other caravan, as stealthily as you've ever been, and you tiptoe your way over and you slink within the shadows. This is at the point of the day where natural shadows are coming out, and you can see the sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago, someone
left with the cup.
So as you strive and drive your way to the caravan, you are met with a locked door.
I'd like to try to
Hail and well met.
I'd like to try to shimmy. Yeah. I'd like to try to shimmy my like dagger in like between the lock.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and give me just a dexterity saving. Or do you have sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. You begin to jostle it free, and you feel like the click of the tumblers in the lock kind of like falling and pushing aside as you jiggle your knife in there. And then when you believe that the lock should have been completely popped open, there's and you go to open the door, there's a spark and a light, like flash of light that kind of goes off and like just kind of momentarily blinds you, and lets off like a large or a loud siren sound, and
set up a car alarm.
So it is a like repeating. So there's lights that are kind of like blinking on and on from where the caravan is, and the noise is a fairly loud. It's not quite like thunderclappy, but it's pretty loud and rather annoying. You would expect that if you were sleeping, you would be really upset that somebody had done this in your parking lot.
Right.
Yeah. Meow meow. But you're still super stealthy. Like you are one with the caravan. You live in the shadows. You were born in the shadows. You did not merely adopt the shadows.
I did the door open?
No,
Or is
it did
just-
not.
no.
It is just making a horribly loud and annoying noise and lights.
Are there windows?
There are not windows.
Can I climb to the top of it?
Sure.
What do I see on the top?
Think like covered wagon, not like exactly Conestoga. Like it's not rounded. It's a flat top, but it seems like it's beams and canvas mostly that are holding it together. There's some amount of wood that is holding the structure together that has canvas kind of pulled across it.
I like to cut an opening in the canvas to go in.
Sure, yeah. So you use your dagger and you cut right through, and you've got yourself a hole in their wagon.
So, Mr. DM,
Yeah.
on which side is Spangle Luxie's window in the inn?
Your window is kind of over on this side. So
Okay.
like the east side, the northeast section.
Not the west,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So you certainly hear this noise from your room. Like everybody within at least a few houses is hearing this noise for sure. So Clovis, Mr. B&E, what would you like to do in this wagon?
Knowing that I only have a short amount of time, I'm going through and I'm looking in the trash again. I'm looking and I'm looking for Chaz's bed, which I think is probably the one that's made. And like his stuff. So like knowing Chaz is a drow bag, he probably has his sheets tucked in real tight so you can bounce a quarter off of it. So I'm going to that area and I'm just like searching that area for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the nicest of the beds, and you're spot on. It is the only one that is made, immaculately. It's clear that he takes pride in the making sure that his space is clean, because all of the other beds and living areas, their direct like radius is a mess, and his is just spotless and pure and perfect and sanctified. So you look around, and it doesn't take much to realize that he is squeaky clean. There is not a crumb nor dust bunny under his bed, and it is perfectly clean and prim and proper.
Okay, so knowing that, I just grab the closest trash can and I dump it all over his bed, and I climb out. I climb out on the top and I slink away, moving. I slink away, moving, and I'll text you where I'm headed.
Okay.
So it's worth noting, at least for Spangle's part, as soon as she's hearing an alarm, she's gonna come running to whatever the heck is going on, because any kind of a conflagration is probably worth investigating.
Sure.
So she can hear it, she come running. So I don't know how timing wise that plays with whatever Clovis is going to be doing.
So I'll say that Spangle, you actually, as soon as you started hearing it, you made a beeline, and you left your room, you locked up, or did you lock up? I don't know. Would you have locked up?
I would not have locked. I would close the door behind me, but would not have taken the time to lock up, because I was there's a big old alarm. That must mean something is going down, and shit.
Okay. That's good.
I mean,
so
shoot.
You did not lock your door. That's great. Good information. You head yourself down there and you race on over to Loud Noise, and you actually you get there and you see what's making this ruckus. It's the caravan, and it seems to be the lead caravan, the one that the band had all been in, and its lights are flashing and its sound is blaring, and as you come out, you're actually running out at the same time as Chaz. And he is running towards the same caravan as you, and says, "Do you know what happened? What's going on? Where are all your friends? Gosh,
Like, you see me running out at the same time as you.
do you know anything?
Do you know anything?
Oh God, you insufferable. And
Right?
he runs over to his
Chow bag.
to his caravan and pulls out his wand, and he's like clicking it, and it's not going off, and he's like flipping it upside down and clicking it, and then he has to like pull it back a little bit and then forward, and finally it goes meow meow, and stops meowing, and he instantly goes to it and walks in, unlocks the door, and you hear a visceral scream, like this from his kishkas. It's a guttural, like blood curdling, no, my bed. And he's just absolutely disgusted at the mess that has been poured out on his bed. You feel that from the words that he says. But he comes out and he shakes his head and he says, if one of your friends did this, oh, so help me, I have all kinds of friends, and I will get this taken care of if you catch my drift. And he storms back off, and he says, you better be there in 15 minutes. And he storms off into the Stonehill Inn, and you hear the door slam, and then you hear the door creak open, and you hear beep, beep. And then the door slam once again.
All right. As soon as that door slams a second time, in the, what's that? The not a falsetto voice, the fake whisper, a stage whisper. Clovis, is that you? Are you here?
You don't.
Clovis?
Nobody seems to be responding to you. You do see some people that walk down the path, and they're coming down from the north, and they kind of like tip their hat to you, and they give you a smile and a nod, and they kind of just like shoot you the double finger guns, pop, pop. And they continue walking along.
Yeah, you know, back at you. Ding, 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 ding.
So they catch it, and then they crack it in half, and they like and it doesn't mean anything. That's not a thing. So they continue walking by.
You just made it a thing.
Yeah, when somebody shoots finger guns at you, you catch it and you break it in half. Then but you see nobody else in sight.
Right. I am going to see here. Did I see in like the what? Maybe I should have made a perception on. Did Spangle notice the hole in the roof or anything?
No, I don't think you would have noticed that. It's fairly like the angle is not quite right for you to see that.
Okay. All right. Can I? I guess that's. She's not her thing, but look for any clues. I think Spangle would assume that this seems like the kind of thing coming from Clovis. What is with him? So she's just gonna search around for tracks.
You don't find any tracks.
What would a ranger do? I'm like looking under leaves. How do they do it?
Not so easy, huh?
Yeah.
Which brings us back to our two rangers and a warlock. What have you guys been doing during this time? You're up in the room.
Are we searching? Yeah, just empty rooms now, or
I feel like we would have heard that alarm too, and like Spangle maybe have checked it out, because we know Clovis is out there, and we know he's been very interested in the roadies and stuff. So it's coincidence that sound is coming from where they would have been.
can we see if we would have heard it? Can we roll or something?
Yeah, you heard it.
Jade said
There's no,
Okay.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay.
So you guys are you following the noise?
I feel like Beatrice will.
Yeah, the Rangers definitely are.
Okay, so
I think so.
during your time where you've as you started to mobilize and walk out towards the noise, you do hear it kind of click click off and but you still have a good idea of where it was coming from. There's no question about that. And I'm sure that on your way over, you would run into Spangle Luxie without any problems. You know, as you guys are coming down the stairs, you actually kind of like notice a huffy drow kind of push past you, and not wanting to mince words, he just kind of pushes past and goes beelines for his room. So you guys are down there, and Spangle is down there, and some of the party is reunited.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys! Have you seen Clovis?
No.
We were wondering the same thing.
Oh my God!
You two are two peas in a pod.
Apparently not. I think maybe he just peed in this pot over here, pointing to the
Ooh.
the caravan. He's got 15 minutes till showtime. If he doesn't show up for the show, I think we're all going to be in big trouble. Like,
This whole thing was his big thing. Like,
this is his big thing. And who can't miss it?
So you don't notice anybody around you at this point, and are you guys going to hang out towards where you are, or are we going to? Do you have an idea of where we'd like to go?
Bagel, do you think this was Clovis that was in here that created all the ruckus? Anything?
I don't know who else would be causing so much trouble. And Clovis has been causing a lot of trouble today. And something is clearly not sitting with him right. And, you know, he is not in control. And, like, I don't like when things are not in control. And this makes me very nervous, especially considering there's a big show on. And the show, like, must go on, which is not going to go on if it doesn't go on because he's not here to go on.
Well,
Yes.
I know he's a little mad at us right now. Or, yeah, he's a little mad at us right now because somebody threw his stick away. That's a long story. Somebody.
Who could that be?
I don't know.
It was you,
Never
Corbin.
happens.
Oh,
You,
it was,
you
yeah.
threw a stick away.
You did.
Well, Clovis needs to get his stick together, okay?
This stick is gonna run dry. All right, so you, Clovis, are you continuing along with what you said you were gonna be doing?
Yes.
So as you are all kind of bickering
Plotting.
and talking and discussing where Clovis might be, you notice that coming from the north down the same path that you just saw some passerbys on Spangle, it looks as though Clovis is rounding the corner from the north. So he's coming down the trail right up here. And he's walking down the trail towards you guys. And he probably saw you when he turned around the corner. And you guys are over here. That's where you are.
Clovis,
I'm like,
it's
hey
15
guys!
minutes till showtime.
So
How are you?
you're definitely not within like normal talking earshot. So Clovis is
Oh,
like,
I'm happy to shout across the
okay.
because Spangle is furious. Like, she is completely stressed out about like making showtime. And it's like her life depends on it, like her job depends on it,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
So you're playing an episode of like Get 'Em to the Greek, and
Yeah.
Clovis is the comedian. So you are Clovis. How do you approach, or do you continue?
I'm like this. Hi guys, it's good to see you. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to get here.
I am grabbing Spangle is going to grab Clovis by the ear.
Ah! Ah!
Give me a strength
Clovis,
check.
I don't know what your problem is, but you are coming with me, and we are going to the show.
I let her do it. I'm complacent.
Sure. You're along for the ride. And Spangle.
Like this has happened before. This is not a. This is something that's gone on like before.
Right.
And probably like
So Spangle, do you drag him to the Stonehill Inn? Is that where you're dragging him? Okay.
Yeah.
You drag him in, and you walk in. What you guys see when you
Not
turn
in necessarily outside, so we can reconnoiter for a minute before we actually go in.
Sure. So, you guys are outside of the inn. You tell me what you do.
Okay, Spangle, like I know you're upset, okay? I know this has happened before too. I know it's not the first time, or even the second or third, or the fifth. Happens a lot. But I'm telling you, something is going on. I was thinking in your room, not touching any of your stuff, and I thought,
checked.
I know you checked. I know you would check. I didn't touch any of your stuff, but I did dump a big trash can on Chaz's bed. Oh my God, what a jerk.
I take
Did
my
he
hand off
freak
your ears
out?
like
Did he
you
get
guys
upset?
are.
Was he upset?
Oh my God.
He wasn't
was
not
so
upset.
pissed. Oh man, his face. What a drawback.
Oh my God! Oh my God! When we get the goats happening, it's gonna be awesome. How is goat thing going? The training? Can we get him to run through? Can you move him through now?
I want to know what this goat thing is.
Not yet.
Uh, so Spangle, you have had success on some moments bending goats, and on other times it has been less successful. You've run the gamut of complete control and like being a goat whisperer to whispering in the general direction of goats to nobody in general. So you've had success and failure, and who knows what'll happen. But you've certainly been putting in the time, so you may even get advantage on whatever animal handling check that you end up doing, because boy oh boy, can't get that many bad rolls in a row.
So as he shows me, like as Spangle shows me, as she shows me, I'm like I'm like a little bit worried, but I'm like, this is looking great.
That's very encouraging.
And I tell her, I say, Spangle, like, okay, I went back and I was hitting the books like I used to do in my old bard days at college, and I was thinking, like, could this be an illusionary spell that we're under? But it doesn't seem like it could be like that, because it would have to be very powerful, because we felt things. So I wonder if someone's like playing with our minds and manipulating us. And I look over. Is the rest of the group there?
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're all there.
Look over
I'm
and
interested to know
go.
how you've responded to Corbin. Just
And
so
I
you
look
know.
over and I go, I think maybe the dwarf is. We should stab him in his head and see what happens.
Oh
my
my God,
God.
Clovis, no!
But if he's under a mind trick, what that might free him. I'm not a doctor.
I'm
I'm
just saying he's crazy the whole time. Do you see this?
Oh, I whispered that to Spangle
Uh-huh.
in my whisper voice.
Okay.
Her voice.
Was it a loud whisper
Clovis.
voice?
It was
You
basically like I was talking.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
You need to get your head in the game. We got to
I'm
go
ready.
in that bar,
I
and
am
we've got
ready.
to out rock. Are you?
Yes.
What about the rest of your band? Did you remember them? Do you remember you had the rest of the band?
Yes, they're
Because-
behind you guys right here.
We haven't
I-
practiced.
You haven't practiced. What's your
Orphan says he
band?
can play the Scottish thing, whatever that's called. You know?
Bagpipes?
Yeah, he says he can play those like they sound beautiful, like not like a geese is dying or anything.
I think that is actually a really well played bagpipe. That's just kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, so it's gonna be perfect, and Beatrice is gonna pluck her bow, and Kyra is gonna like knock two sticks together.
I have a lyre.
Oh, but,
Weird.
well, let's not
Yeah, you're married to him.
Oh!
Oh, I'm just kidding, Anthony. You're a wonderful
Damn.
younger brother, and I love you. Liar.
He's a liar.
Sorry. So we've got a lyre, we've got a bagpipe, we've got two sticks, and that leaves Spangle not doing anything on the old. I don't know. Do you play any instruments, Spangle?
She does not play any instruments. She sings in choir, but she's got like a quavery voice that's a little bit off key.
Yeah, so you'll be the backup singer. Okay.
Nice.
And I also I take out the folded piece of paper and I show them the one with all the puke on it, and I say, okay. And I kind of like edge out Corbin so he can't see it, but I'm like, okay. So I found this in the trash can, and look, it says Q something like keep quiet, and I read, and you can see the keep quiet, and it says cast, and it like has an S, and I'm like, that's probably casting a spell. So like this is all pieces of the puzzle, like, and I know there are some people that like to pull up people's science experiments, just like a big bully, because they're short and they want something to prove. And I don't know. Look at me, I'm short. I don't have something to prove. Just that people are meanie heads, and like I know you guys didn't see the stick, but when Beatrice cast that spell, something happens with the shadows. Like you have to acknowledge that.
I point to Spangle. Lexi points to the paper, and she says, "I think what it's saying is keep quiet and practice before you guys go in and try and do a song together.
We're
This
gonna
is
do the
about all
song.
the bands.
I
You have to
understand.
play one together.
I understand. We don't need to play together to beat these dumbheads. We're gonna be fine. They're not good. They no one's even come to their shows. They just use illusionary magic.
I'm sure they have magics to make them sound better.
Yeah, well, yeah. Guess what? And I go ahead and I'm gonna anyone can make illusionary magic. Look, and I just cast minor illusion to make a clapping sound around us.
Yeah, so there's a clapping sound around you guys. That's good. There's a round of applause. So you've got a round of applause echoing throughout in front of the Stonehill Inn.
Yeah. So this is not what. There's something off here, guys. I don't understand why you don't see it. But I gotta get ready to warm up, so I'm going in. And I
say, Clovis, I think you're right. I think there is something off here, but there's also something on here, something on stage, and that's going to need to be you. And I am going to give you all that you can do. And I'm going to give you, what is it called? Is this Eagle's Splendor? Yes. Here you go. I'm going to cast... is that a second level? There's my last second level, submit, and I am going to cast Enhance Ability. And I'm going to give you the Splendor. Clovis, I'm going to give you the Splendor of an Eagle. And so for the next hour, you are going to be able to have advantage on charisma checks. I was trying to think of a nicer way to say that, but no.
Okay. Wow, I feel great. I even feel a little bit stronger.
No, it's only charisma checks. That's all it is. So I basically have to select a. I bestow upon you one magical enhancement. Okay. Not that one.
Oh, right.
The Eagle Splendor. The target has
the fox is cunning.
Checks.
The target has advantage on charisma checks.
Cunning is for intelligence checks.
Oh my gosh! So you get this wonderful sense of a charisma that just washes over you, and you feel extra charismatic. Okay. Charismatic.
And I have something I also have something that's going to help us too, but we can't use it until we get closer to the showtime. So let's go ahead. We also need to find Joe, because I got to put him under a spell.
You hear, just in that moment, as you start talking about Joe, the door bursts open that you guys are standing right in front of, and it's Chaz, and he says, "It's time, get on stage!"
And I look at him and go, "Calm down, there's not even anybody in the inn. We could just start the show at any point, because guess what? You're just going to turn on the illusion magic and make everybody clap for us. Calm down, Chaz. It's going to be fine."
And he says,
"This is my first rodeo.
This is live. We gotta do it now." And he slams the door. And with that, we're gonna take our 5-minute break. 5-minute break. Gonna go ahead and break it for 5 minutes, cause I gotta go to the pee room. I'll be right back.
Is this a musical episode?
You'll click that, and then you'll get to choose what you want to use the attribute, like if you want intelligence, dexterity, or whatever. So that's how you would play with your tool.
There we go.
What?
Okay.
Word choice. Okay, sorry. This is our MO. We give 3 minutes and everybody comes back in 5. If I give them 5 minutes, everybody comes back in longer than that.
What's this everybody?
You're eating at your chair, and that's acceptable. That's fine. But we can't start until everyone's back.
Yeah, it's true. They got to the trash, so we had to clean it up.
Oh no! Oh, that's why you don't pour Chaz's trash on his bed.
Mm.
I
She
guess that wasn't
actually
you guys.
can. We've got one that the lid closes, but I think she's figured out that if she just steps on the little pedal, it lifts up.
Dogs gonna be dogs.
Crack the code.
So, I just want to say thanks for those that are hanging out, Foxy Draws and the Lawgiver. I really appreciate you guys hanging around. There you go. That's some quality bagpiping right there. The old Nat 1, the Zippy Doodah.
We'll get that one out of the way while
it's
I'm
good
practicing
to do that.
with it. So that's
probably,
good.
it's probably better to do that. Get it out of the way when you can. So Anthony, do you think Court needs like a couple more minutes?
I cleaned up the stuff, but I'll check on her.
Clovis, how are you feeling? Your heels all right?
It's like it's getting to the point where sometimes I'm like I walk on the ball, like on the balls of my foot, but that's like very dangerous because if I fall backwards, like I fell recently trying to get onto the toilet, and that was like really painful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But my heels are doing a lot better. Like I'm giving them a little bit of pressure every day, just a little bit. Why would I didn't say pressure? I'm allowing, like you take your hand and you might rest it on a desk.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that, like where my heels have just rested on the floor.
Okay.
So I have them resting on the floor right now, out of my boots, on like 2 pillows.
Sure. Like
so,
all the feathers.
Yeah, all the feathers. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that sounds like it's progress.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Making significant progress.
I'll tell you a small anecdote that's embarrassing about my life while Beatrice gets her headphones on.
I heard embarrassing. What?
Yeah, I raced my niece on Sunday, and she does track and fun stuff like that, and she's a teenager. Hava, yeah. And
You lost.
And she destroyed you, didn't she?
No, she did not destroy me. In fact, I will say that I think on a rematch I could win because
She got destroyed.
No. Look, trust me, it gets embarrassing, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you the real story here. I was crushing her for the first half of the race. And
how long was it? Like was it 100 meters?
It was like
100
100 meters, but it was on on the field in grass, and so I'm crushing her for like the first 40 or 50 meters. And then I took like one real good, like she wasn't even in my peripheral. Like I was that far ahead of her. I was that far, I was that good, that was really good.
You were like maybe a foot ahead of her.
Well, no, shut up. Yeah, but that's a lot. And anyway, I was dusting her big time, and then I started dusting the entire track because I took a nice long stride, and I was reminded that I'm 36, and gas came out of my bottom when I didn't expect it to. And then I turned to her and went, "I just farted, oh God!" And then it continued to happen with every single switch of my feet, every single movement, and it did not propel me forward any. In fact, it made me kind of clench up and be like, I don't want more to come out, but I was still trying to win, so I'm running, and it's
because
like,
after 35, you don't know if it's going to be a fart or.
You just don't know. And there was no indication that there was going to be gas. It all happened very instantaneously, and I did not like it. No, sir, I did not like it. So yeah, we did that, and that was fun. So there's that. We had a good time.
Did you win or did you lose?
I lost, but not by much. Even with that even with that happening. So when we do our family reunion or the Brown family thing, I'm gonna get a.
Is that a poop joke?
No.
Not this time.
Ilana's family name is Brown, so they're the Browns. So that's not a poop joke. I wish it was. I guess it's kind of a double entendre.
It's funny because
So I will be asking for a rematch, and hopefully she'll be a little bit more removed from when she was doing track also. So it gives me like a little bit of a case, and I can start maybe walking a little bit, or like a non-zero amount.
At her age, she only gets faster.
Yeah, I know.
She could do nothing. She could sit on the couch eating potato chips and ice cream, and she's gonna be like, Like it's like the healthiest she's ever been.
Yeah, that's
You're
probably
only gonna
accurate.
slow down from here, Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's been.
You
Oh,
need to
it's
train every day for this race, Jay.
on
Yeah,
the
and I want to
sly. I
see you
think
in
I'm
on
going
this one
to.
too.
So I'll do a couple runs here and there, but I feel like I was a lot closer than anybody thought I was gonna be, considering that I haven't like moved my legs from this spot
I think
since
Mom
COVID
didn't
started.
even think you could do
Yeah,
a
be
cartwheel
careful
for
you
a
don't
little
pull
while.
like your hamstring.
Well, so when Ricardo and I raced directly after that race, he did indeed pull both of his hamstrings while running.
Oh.
It was
Whoa!
we were running and he was beating me just slightly. Like it was about where Kava and I had been at that point in the race, and then he pulled up and went oh and like jumped on his left leg, and then went oh and jumped on his right leg, and then crumpled to the ground and was like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain, oh my god. I didn't actually finish, and I was happy because I didn't have to run the other 25 meters.
You should have finished and then been like,
Boom! No, I was concerned because he, that's my dear friend. Not like
Welcome to getting old.
yeah, seriously. Well, he's closer to 40 than I am. So,
Yeah.
okay. So you guys have just been yelled at from Chaz. Welcome back. We're playing D&D. And you are being. He kind of like yelled at you and said, "We're gonna be live. Get in here." And just kind of walked his way back into the room to give you your one more moment, if there was something that dire you needed to say in right now. So
I say, come on, guys, let's get going.
wow, inspirational. You don't get
Boom.
inspiration for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you make your way in, and I don't want anybody to laugh. This is I made a map, and it's
Oh,
different. It's
we gonna be fighting.
no, that you're just gonna have a map. Just because you're on a map doesn't mean you're gonna fight, Anthony.
I think it does.
Yes, it does.
You're totally gonna fight.
Oh God, I'm gonna fight.
I don't know that you will fight.
Is this a
I'm
hand-drawn map?
genuinely- It is.
Cool.
Oh,
With
where-
your new
Is it-
tablet.
No. I whipped this up using the thing, like the actual in-app kind of stuff. So
Oh, okay.
let's see if I can drag this over. It's probably gonna pop you to the wrong place for a second, which is the
Nerd.
Circle of Thunder, and then it's gonna hopefully get you to the right place.
Ooh,
So-
all right.
Is it about to get Scott Pilgrim versus in the world in here?
It might. Oh man, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be fun?
Nope.
So, but no, it's
God, it
not
is.
exactly.
Oh.
So you guys, I guess I need. Can you plop your own characters on that map?
Yeah.
What?
How? What?
How?
What?
How do?
You go to your character sheet.
It's like we haven't been playing for 4 months.
We
Go to
haven't
your
fought
character
in a
sheet.
while.
Go to your
We
character
haven't
sheet.
moved.
I do everything for
For a
you.
very
It's
long
really
time.
what
Go to your-
Hey,
Character
telling-
sheet.
character
I'm on the
sheet.
character sheet.
Okay, go to your character sheet.
Uh-huh.
Go to it says where it says character and bio,
I'll go ahead
There
and
we go.
move you guys
and
to.
then click your
Oh.
left click and then drag it onto the there you go.
How do I make it a circle?
You just have to have used the right one,
Ah.
but it's okay. That's fine. We'll be good there. So that's 4. We're missing 1.
Me.
Kyrie, every
Oh.
time.
You don't even have a picture. You're just a square with some weird brown things in there.
Well, I heard you go to bio and then character, but then I didn't. hear
Bio and
anything else.
information.
bio and info, like the
Just
first
click
great
your
big
own
old
name.
tab.
Click journal. Actually, is what I did, and then you just drag your name over, and that's
That's
what I-
you can do that too. Yeah. I forgot you could journal and do that.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
journal one is the better one to use because then it's actually like tied to your character. But that's okay.
That works.
It's fine. It's a
journal?
okay. So you guys walk in and you see actually the cool colored lights on the ground aren't there yet, but they will be in just a
Oh.
second. And it's just no reason for me to have hid them and had the big. I guess I could have hid them and had a reveal. But
Another layer.
yeah, it's just all these layers on layers on layers. So you guys walk into the Stonehill Inn, and you see the normal desk for check-in and some chairs on the side, and then you walk in, and you notice there are a few people sitting at tables. Hermione is in the back table, right at this seat, who's got a great view of of what's going on, and there are like 2 or 3 people spread out throughout the rest of the bar. Tolbin is behind the bar, and Chaz is sitting at the bar, kind of just looking impatient as all get out. So he's tapping, and apparently I lost one of the band members, so we're just gonna duplicate someone's thing here because I don't want to waste time.
Is that the dance floor, the multicolor thing?
Is that the dance?
It will be.
Yes, it probably will be. But you'll see in a minute. So let's see. Now we've got 2 people there. One of them is, I don't know which one they are, but it's not important. It's also not important right now. So you walk in, and there's no cool multicolored lights on the ground, but there's a big open area right in front of the stage. And what you notice as you walk into the room is there's like kind of like a misty smoke that's kind of filling the room. It's like the fog machines are just kind of getting started. And as you kind of glance around, you see that it is indeed like it's just kind of it's all getting started here. And it looks like they're going to be starting things very, very shortly. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna. I mean, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I go, come on, guys, let's get on stage and go, like start taking our instruments up. So I head to the stage. Do I see any of the roadies?
Yeah, there's some roadies that are back at the sound booth, like this thing back here that is getting pinged. There are two roadies that you notice back there working that booth.
Do I see Joe?
You don't see Joe. No, you haven't seen Joe since when you were kind of following him that one time.
I walk over to the roadies and I say, "Hey guys, I know you make us sound awesome. So thanks so much for doing that."
Yeah, man, no problem. I'm just so glad that I can be a part of this, monumentous occasion where we get to, play the Stonehill Inn. So,
and I say, "Have you guys seen Joe?"
No, I haven't seen Joe around in a while. I know that he had he had to talk with someone. One of I think he was talking to maybe Chaz or something. But he had to step out.
Okay, so I walk over to Chaz, and I say, "All right, Chaz. So we're gonna do this, and I'm really excited. But before we do it, I'm looking for Joe to get my instruments like tuned up. Like he had one of the instruments that I needed."
Yeah, I mean you can I don't think that Joe is gonna be around. I mean I don't see him anywhere.
Where did he go? Because I know he just talked to you.
I haven't talked to Joe for hours. He had some business he had to take care of.
Okay, but I need my instrument.
You're welcome to any instrument that we have here that you can play. I don't have anything, no information on Joe. I don't know where he is.
Well, that's so weird. He works for you.
Yeah, I know. You find him, you send him my way. I'm pretty pissed.
All right, so I go back to the stage and I go, "Come on, guys, get up on the stage and let's pick up our instruments. They're gonna go live soon."
So Chaz comes over to, I guess, give you guys like the rundown of how this is all going to go down. And he says, "All right, well, you guys haven't maybe seen one of our Battle of the Bands before, but they're pretty straightforward. You guys have to kind of play the same song, and it's very much like don't miss a beat, don't have any don't miss any of the notes. As you miss notes, you'll lose points, and there's going to be a point like catcher that's going to be right up in your face. You'll see it as you start to miss points. It'll start to glow one band's color, and as you hit notes, then your color will become more predominant. Did you guys have a preference on your color?
Purple.
Ooh,
That
good
seems
choice.
Let's go with purple.
all right.
All right.
Purple it is. And I guess before, what do you guys think? Oh, purple's that was gonna be my choice, but let's go with a little bit of the green. I feel like that's an interesting color combination. Purple and green, you don't see that often, do you? Fine, whatever. We got the green team and we've got the purple team. So what's going to happen is a ball's going to come down. It'll be right up in your face, right in front of you. So you'll see your results in live, in real time. As you miss notes, it'll start to grow more purple or more green, and may the best band win or whatever. There's no chance you're beating the world's best band. So this will be something. We do try to keep it interesting. And throw a little couple curveballs here and there, but it's a clean fight, a clean battle, and make sure that everybody has fun, and we just put on a good show for the crowd. There's going to be, everybody is going to be talking about this one. So just quit moving around the stage like a crazy person.
I just gotta be around the stage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
First time.
Is
okay.
I take Kyra and go, it's okay, Kyra. It's gonna.
So like is this battle going to be like the entire concert, or are you playing it? Is it just like the opening gig?
No, they're gonna open the set because we were gonna have you open, but since we're doing a battle of bands, they love to have their moment. Let them open the show and kind of give their little this is who we are. Unless you guys want to go first and introduce yourself, I can MC it. It's not a problem. Like you'll be sure to be known who you are. Do you guys even have a band name or anything?
Yeah, Purple Haze.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's on the cuff. I'll give you advantage for that. So he also says, oh, you may notice. Yeah, I mean, you've seen him around. We've been setting up, but you've got your magic machines all over the place. Don't be alarmed. They do lights. They do smoke. They do illusions. They do all kinds of cool stuff. And they'll start emitting throughout the performance and enhancing everything that's going on. So they're pretty cool, and they're one of our hallmarks is these cool machines. So I hope you guys dig it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm sure you're gonna do great. So I don't know why I can't get. There you go. All right. So that's the full room there. So he kind of like motions to the back to the sound and merch table, and for them to lower the ball. And he says, yeah, just so you can kind of like, it's going to be right here. And he just kind of like points to this thing, and it goes right in front of you. This ball shows up, and it's kind of like suspended from the ceiling, and there it is. So there's a large ball that will maybe fill with color in some way, shape, or form if I can do it correctly, but if not, I'll paint you a word picture of colors that are swirling.
Word pictures.
Yes, hashtag word picture. So again, there's no colors on the ground yet. The cool magic machines haven't started projecting that. But he says, all right, so the first song is going to be off our hit album, and you guys all have heard the tune. And he clicks a button and it plays the music, and it's a very rudimentary tune, but the vocals on it are like really banging, and it's just like it gets you nodding. And it was actually that song that you guys heard initially when they came into town that everybody it earwormed into your heads, and you couldn't quite shake it for a little bit.
And I'm kind of like doing it like a little air guitar when I'm like, I can't help myself. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's just like it's well constructed pop kind of music. And he says, all right, well, that's kind of the gist of that's the first song. So you guys all know this one, you heard it. And then you guys will pick the next song, and then we'll have to kind of like riff in between. It's very jazzy. Like we kind of like go back and forth, and you guys will do a part and we'll do a part. And, it's very freeform, cool battle of the bands kind of setup. So it's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. Don't stress too much, and enjoy the fame, So he starts to walk. Do you guys have any questions before I go take my seat?
No questions, Chaz. You can get the heck out of here and let the musicians do what they're supposed to do.
All right. Well, that's my fear. So he makes his way back towards the sound box, and kind of like gives like a 5, 4, 3.
And I bring everybody in and I'm like, we got this, team. And I bring everybody's hands in, and I'm like, go team, and I give everyone bardic inspiration.
All right.
Go Team Venture.
Because you were their inspiration. So you hear after the countdown hits zero fingers, the lights begin to dim unnaturally. Like there was flames and like candles that were lit, and all of those kind of dim, and there's the smoke that had been filling the room kind of like it's become far more thick. And then you hear him, you see him put his hand up and then drop it, and then right at that moment, like all of these little magical devices that are set throughout the room, the room is filled with smoke, and lights start to kind of like emanate from them. Some of them are pulsing, some of them are shooting like these beautiful scintillating streams of light in different colors, and the smoke that's right in the middle of the room starts to dissipate and swirl and go up in this huge column, and right below that there is a colored like ground that starts to rise up, and it looks like it has a physical form, like it's raised up but not quite as high as the stage. And from there are like people that just kind of coalesce out of nothing, and they begin to like kind of bob and sway, and they're waiting for you to start, and they're kind of like just kind of feeling it, and looking around, and they're like, where are we? This is so cool. This is the concert, it's the time. Like, and you hear them, like everybody going crazy, that they're actually at the B4 concert. They can't believe it. Like you hear some people say, I can't believe I was selected, this is awesome. And you see some people kind of like butting their way up against the edge of this raised platform, and they can't seem to move past just the outside of it. So they are like, they seem to be like smushed up against it. Like you see somebody look like they're gonna fall, and they like land on it, and like a mime, they're like stuck on the wall, and they're like, what the heck? So they're like there, and they're kind of vibing, and they're all excited, and there's all these lights and craziness going on, and then the B4, the band, they strum their first note, and they begin, and in perfect unison, they hit all their notes for their first set of the first like bars of the song, and then they're kind of like winking over towards you guys like, good luck. And they play their first verse without any problems whatsoever. And they do it without any riffing. There's nothing, no extra showmanship. They play it, by heart, because it's their song, and they have no problems with that. Now you guys have a different kind of setup as far as your instrumentals go, and I'd love to have whoever wants to take this first like solo to go ahead and give me a performance check. Is that are you gonna open with your bard?
Yeah, I kind of step up to the plate, step out, and I kind of take like a nice, like a relaxed stance, and I look over at the band, and as I do, I like lay into the first chord, very confidently, like knowing that it's not a very hard, knowing it's not a very hard chord to like a beat chord,
sure,
construction of notes. And I'm gonna roll with advantage because of that thing. So
Mr. DM?
Uh-huh.
When B4 plays, does it seem as though are they actually playing, and are they actually good musicians as they're playing themselves, or like now that I'm able to witness them in person, are they like dubbing?
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a investigation like when they're playing again. But they're right now they're not playing. They kind of like drop
Right.
their hands as you guys take the stage, and
Well,
Clovis
okay.
bangs out some serious legit notes. And you see this this circle that's in front of you that was all green as they hit every single one of their notes. You start to see like some purple swirls start showing up in it, and it's about 50-50 as the wonderful bard hits all their notes, and there's a the crowd there
There's a
is
little improvisation too, to make it even a more like well constructed song.
sure. So your little riff, the crowd goes wild, and because it's not something that they've heard before in this staple song from the band before, and a little bit more of it kind of like shows up, and it's extra like beautiful, and then. Your stanza ends in B4. They kind of like they look at each other. They're like, okay, yeah, we know what's going on. This is up. It's us. It's us time now. And they step it up a notch. And what you hear from them, and Spangle, you're investigating as you see it, and you do see they do seem like they are hitting all the notes. Everything is their own. The voice is their own. It doesn't seem like they've like they're not Milli Vanilliing anything, but you do notice that they are all wearing like what seems to be like a matching ring on for each of them. So all of their notes are perfect. They have extra improv in it that is extra great, and they continue to fill up the green in the ball, and it's just like they're rocking out without even breaking a sweat. Like they haven't gone Freddie Mercury yet. They're just kind of like hanging out and vamping like without any problems. So they're going about their thing, and you see Chaz in the back with your investigation. Actually, could everybody give me a perception check, or
You want everyone to?
at least the one that's actively singing. So Clovis, give me a perception check.
Perception.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use my inspiration that you gave me for the band name Purple Haze.
Oh, I apparently gave you a disadvantage, but it was supposed to be an advantage. So I'll take that away. You can go ahead and use your advantage. So you see Chaz in the back kind of mouth something and gesture to the roadie that's next to him, and he's like, they're just having some kind of a back and forth, and he kind of shrugs his shoulders and then toggles with some of the buttons and the levers that are on the table in front of him, and all around the room with that seems right in line with this wonderful song, a bunch of like small fairies and pixies kind of like coalesce outside of the dance floor, and they kind of start popping up at around the areas that are near all of these magic items, and they start kind of just filling the room, and they're giving off this beautiful glow of like color changing. They've got some bioluminescent thing going on, and they're showing up right around on the stage. That every single one of these different points is emanating different magical creatures, fairies and pixies and stuff like that. Go ahead and everybody give me a wisdom saving throw. So Spangle and Beatrice, you guys see what's going on, and you realize, oh, this is just like when Clovis was performing before, and that's so cool. What an awesome effect. However, Kair, Corbin, and Clovis, you guys see these, and you instantly believe they are real. You think that these are real people, like what you've seen in front of you, kind of like just appear, and it seems as though most of the of B4 also is kind of in the same boat where they see these things and they're just like mesmerized by them. They're looking off on their own, and they're like kind of like dazed at the sight of these fairies and pixies that have shown up, that are like just flashing different like slow oscillating colors that are showing up in front of you. And they actually they miss a few notes because of it, and they're distracted. So they finish their side of the set, and it actually, because of missing some of the notes, it actually ends up feeling a little bit more of the purple side, or less of the green is showing, and it looks like you guys are kind of pulling away on this one. But then it's the time for your turn, your team to start like playing the next notes.
I look back and go, "We got this, guys! Come on, use your inspirations."
So who is gonna be doing this next portion?
I think Spangle is going to jump in. I think she isn't going to sing, but she has a tambourine.
Oh,
right?
yes,
And she
that's a
does
solid.
like, yeah. And
Of course she does.
yeah, so you've got an awesome tambourine solo that you improv into this song. There's like a backtrack that's playing that, you know, that is just kind of like the overrunning thing, but you knock out this tambourine solo. Why don't you give me a tambourine check? Do you actually have a tambourine?
I actually am going to use my inspiration at this point.
Okay.
D6. It's a D6.
Oh, well, now my bardic inspiration, I have like an inspiration die, so I'm going to go ahead and pump that out, which is not much better, but then I'm going to add a d6 to that as well. What's that? Slash roll 1d6. Dupe.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're as you continue along, and seeing that you have not been kind of like enraptured by these wonderful fairies.
That is only inside. From the outwards appearance, Spangle is making quite a show. All right, with that 15 performance of looking like she's entirely enraptured by the light show around, like she's never seen such an amazing thing in her life.
Okay, so
like that's it. Like she's like she is woozy from the extravagant light show that is happening before her.
Yeah. So you sell that, and that comes across, but you also just give an amazing tambourine solo. And the B4 kind of let's see, they 1, 2, 3. The three that had been kind of like caught in the commotion of the fairies, they kind of break out of it, and they begin to like look elsewhere, and they realize, oh, that it's just the fairies. It's no big deal. It's the magic, and they kind of like shake themselves from it, and they pick up their next set, and they you know, like hardcore back at you guys, seeing that the ball has changed very drastically towards the purple side, and then Brad even breaks out like a couple riffs that you can tell weren't in the original like medley of this song, and he just really is giving it his all, and he's got a beautiful voice. It's like you guys have been concerned that these guys were not the real deal, but they're actually they seem very talented, like, you know, very, very talented, and you see in the back there's more kind of talking between Chaz and the roadie, and he kind of gives them the sign to do something else, and everyone in the audience begins like just roaring clapping, and the applause is deafening, because it's all the people that are there right in front of you. They just kind of they're clapping as loud as they possibly can, losing their stuff. Hermione back in the corner, he starts losing his stuff, and you see Toblin he's not even looking at the rest of the bar. Not that there's anyone there to be asking for drinks, but he's just clapping up a storm as well. And when you noticed that he hadn't really been doing that for you guys when you had gone on either. So B4 finishes their verse, and it's yours, and you can tell that the song is kind of coming to its end. This is probably the last portion of this song, and the after a really impressive set on their side, the green just starts filling up in the ball, and it's very, very much slanted towards the green side.
Sure.
And who's gonna do the last little?
I turn to
Well-
Beatrice and I turn to Beatrice. Beatrice, you got this.
I was gonna volunteer myself. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So
Well, I just want to be before like the time runs out here. While as soon as like Spangle was done with her show, her portion of it, she's going to be very dizzy from all the lights and motion and stuff, and is going to step outside for a breath of fresh air.
sure.
You know, she's like waving, this is just too much up there, and you know, dainties her way on out the door.
Yeah, you
So-
make your way out the door, and Chaz kind of like gives you the side eye, like, oh, where are you going? And
I give her the, puffing. You know, she's got the turtleneck on because Spangle Luxie always wears a turtleneck, so she's
Sure.
kind of.
yeah, so you hear him mumble lightweight as you walk out the door to get some air. And can you give me a? I know you already. Yeah, I said you sold it with your performance check. So the final verse of this first song is going to be Beatrice.
And as Beatrice is doing this, I'm kind of in the background doing like I'm trying to get the crowd into like her set. I'm doing like I'm spinning around, making my coat change colors from sparkling and glowing, and like to like the turning to fire, turning to ice, and then I'm doing a cartwheels around. You know.
All right, so Beatrice, go ahead and give me a performance check.
All right.
Roll your d6.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Did I do it?
Yes, you did. You done did it.
Yeah.
And you were playing a lyre, right?
Yeah.
You were playing an Anthony. So you strum your Anthony. There's probably a joke there. So you strum your lyre, and it's beautiful music, and you're able to emulate the tone and the vibe of the song, and you don't miss any notes, you don't do anything extravagant and like improvise anything, but you get it, like you get the gist of it, and you really the crowd is loving the performance behind you from Clovis, and they really get into it, and the song comes to an end, and it's very much right there in the middle. You seem like you've filled half of the globe, and they've filled half the globe, and you look over, and they're rather surprised. They think that's for somebody that doesn't practice their songs all the time, to keep pace with them is rather impressive. And they said, all right, well, what's the next genre of songs that you guys get to pick the next one? As Bradley extends the kindness in the mic, he's like, all right, well, let's hear from Purple Haze. What are we playing? What's the genre?
And I step up, and I say, I look over at Corbin, and I say, oh, it's an old Gaelic song with lots of bagpipe.
Sure.
House music.
And it's called Old Danny Boy.
Yeah, okay, that tracks. So Corbin, are you gonna open us up with this one?
Yeah.
But before he opens up, do we kind of like the people that were kind of like, do we realize like we're kind of like we're taken aback by the fairies?
So the fairies dissipate as the end of that first song.
So we shake that off.
Yeah, you've shaken that. You shake it off. Shake it off.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
So you shake that off, and you see there's still the swirling colors from these various machines, and tons of smoke and stuff, and the people are still right in front of you, and they're all still just clamoring with excitement, but they haven't been able to leave their little platform, and you see them all just being super excited. So you begin Old Danny Boy, and it's let me get a performance check from.
Before he does that, before he starts, can I look around the room to see if I see Joe?
Yeah, you can give me a perception check.
Your obsession with Joe.
Oh yeah, I have a super obsession.
You don't notice Joe. You only see there's a human girl that is in one of these chairs that's up here at this table. Hermione is over here, the elf reporter, and then there are two humanoid people over here that are like hooded figures that you can't quite tell if they're what race they are.
Would they be similar to the hooded figures that were out in that field that one day?
They're not wearing the same like
Okay.
cloaks, but you know you just can't see their face.
I turn back before I start and say, I just say to the guys that Chaz is trying to like he's trying to stack the band against us by creating like these illusions of like the fairies. They, you know, like I saw him do that earlier when we were playing so well.
Okay. All right. So Corbin's a little nervous because he's never played beyond a small campfire before, but he plays his bagpipes. Let me do the bagpipe one. Is it okay if I roll the bagpipes, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a proficiency with it, it's better to do that. You'll get a better bonus.
Right, bagpipes, and I have a D6 too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you open with this like hauntingly beautiful rendition of old Danny Boy, and it's like, you know, it needs no accompaniment, and it's just the bagpipes, and it's this building thing, and it like everybody's kind of like getting wrecked on it, and they're like they're remembering past moments in their life, and it's really speaking to a lot of people, and it's a very like sobering thing for a lot of people there. It's bringing up a lot of emotions for the people that are enjoying it. And you see the before kind of like look at each other, they're like, we've never practiced this one, but they're like, okay, but I'm sure we played like back in high school. Let's just this is not a problem, we can do this. And you really seem to, in an emotional performance, win over a lot of people that are there. And I select the correct purple color for that, and I draw it a little bit in. You cannot send it to me unless you don't want other people to read it. Is that okay to read? Okay, all right.
I just didn't want to interrupt the flow. I don't want to like jump in and be like, oh, rah, 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 rah. I was like, let me just say it, and you keep it in the back of your mind. And yeah.
Hey DM, I'd also do one more thing. I'd like to see if I noticed you said they were wearing matching rings. I'd like to do just see if I could see anything going on with the rings, or if there's any weird thing about them from where I'm standing. Since I'm the closest.
Sure. You give me. I mean, you see that like as you're looking over at them, you do see like they look like identical rings. You don't know if there's. You can't tell by just without like grabbing one of their hands without further investigating. But you can tell that they are on the same finger, on the same hand, and they are all wearing identical rings on them.
Okay.
So they take up their instruments, none of which are bagpipes, and they try to emulate and keep pace with what you've got going on, and they do a pretty good job. They actually let's see, they have a couple missed notes here and there, and but they don't, you know, they keep it going. They add in some extra words that the like real purists of this Gaelic standard are like, that's not the real words, you don't even know, and so they clearly lose a couple people, but the diehard B4 fans are like, we don't even care that you don't know the words, so they just love being there, and they love the voice, and they love everything about it. So they get close to just under half of what you are. So it would look by your just kind of glance that you guys are ahead on this one right now. And then we come back over to the next band member, which I believe would be Kyer.
Yeah, it's probably me by now.
All right. So how are you going to perform with this number?
Okay. Well, last time I was summoning a raven, which can mimic people's voices, and I was going to have it mimic Clovis's voice. Obviously, we're doing Danny Boy. There is some singing in that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to have my little raven pop on top of my head. Kair is a blacksmith, and he probably swung a hammer at some point in time, so I assume he can keep some level of rhythm.
Oh, hell yeah.
Obviously, he's not proficient with drums,
Sure.
but I'll do something, a slow sort of beat for Danny Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Figuring out. But I guess I'll roll my D6.
Yeah.
Do you have inspiration?
Bardic inspiration.
Bardic inspiration.
Yeah, Bardic inspiration.
So we're at a 13, and I'll say that you, with your drumming and your raven, Corbin, can you give me another bagpipe check? You're assisting. You're going here, and you're still keeping like the background music going. So your assisted check here puts him right over the point where it seems like it's nice. Anglican hider. Okay. So you've got your thing going on, and you bang out a nice tune with your hammer, and your raven has impeccable pitch. So it's doing a great job mimicking Clovis's voice, and you guys you keep your lead, but it wasn't quite as grand as some of the other performances go. So you kind of like you just pad your lead a little bit, and little bits of the swirling green kind of disappear and turn into the purple. And as you continue playing, there you see that across the entire room, if everybody can give me a wisdom saving check.
I don't believe Spangle Lexi is in the room at this point. Does she need to give a wisdom saving throw as well?
Yeah. So everybody besides Spangle is, has dealt with this before, and you see across the room, everybody on the stage currently, besides Spangle, who has stepped outside, or is not on the stage with you guys, but even though they look like they're on the stage, I think.
I should be. Right? I went out to the goat pen. So I went outside to the goat pen because I was wrangling goats.
Yeah. So
at this point,
so you all that are on the stage see on each of the tables, there are exactly the dressed in the same outfits dwarves that pop up throughout the tables. On each of the tables, a dwarf kind of like a ghost would come through the floor. They kind of just appear on the tables and they start river dancing, and they're like the duck thing where like it's a vigorous battle of flailing legs below, and their upper torso is completely stiff and still, and they keep perfect time, and they're just knocking out this beautiful river dance on the tables. And then the band members over at B4 actually have a difficult time, and they're all trying to keep time, and only one of them seems to really like recognize that, guys, no, this is the thing that we always deal with when we do this. Come on, like, what are you doing? Snap out of it. They're not real dwarves. It's just magic. This is supposed to be our thing. Like, we're supposed to be good at this. And they start their side, and they miss more notes than they would like. And although they don't gain much of room, you guys, or they don't get much applause. They actually miss more notes than they make, and they lose more ground on you. And the thing starts turning more and more purple. And we kick it back over to Purple Haze.
I step up to finish out the song.
Okay.
And I look over, and I kind of like I'm impressed by Corbin. I give him a little wink, and I take up the rest of the song. The Danny Boy song. And I don't even need to roll my second one with an advantage because I crushed that.
So you kill it. You you let this song roll out, and it is. Were you singing? Were you? Were you playing?
Singing and playing. I was singing and playing.
Oh man, that's great. So you just have like this angelic voice that like, and you see Tolblin like from the bar, and there is a single tear running down his eye. Like it is, his cheek is just, there's a glint and a glimmer as he just is so happy, and he's like, "That's my boy. I knew you could do it."
As I hit the last note, I kind of like, I let it fade, and I just sing like the purest note out, and I just hold it for like, and I hold it, and I look over it before, and I just keep on holding the note, and I just hold it back, and then let it fade off into this gentle, just this gentle ending.
And the crowd is like, they see your showmanship, and they are just going bonkers. Like they're like, "Who did we come here to see? Like where this other band? What? Like this is the real ish." And more and more of the glowing white ball turns purple, and there's only a sliver of the green left at this point. Then the before folks come in with their final shot at it, and Bradley, he takes a shot at this thing, and he goes to like belt out the last note. Like he had a good verse, but he was like, I'm putting it all into this one note, and he goes to do it, and his voice just like it cracks, and he just like, he tries his best to recover from it, but it's just like that, "Oh, you were there, we know you got the chops, but you just missed it." Like they happen, these notes happen, and the crowd, you can tell they're like, "Oh, that was not good. I'm so sorry." And you hear a few people on the dance floor say, "We still love you, Bradley. It's okay." And it is nearly all purple at this point. Purple haze.
Does he feel like, do I see, like, I look over and he kind of like is walking back? Like what's happening? Like as he like misses that note and ends the song, like what's happening?
He's a professional performer, so he's like, he knows, like, I just got to come back the next time harder. Like I got to hit it. I just missed it. It happens. It's not a big deal. Like he doesn't seem shaken by it. He's just like, he's a professional. And he's like, "Oh," and he like kind of gives you tips the hat to you, like, you killed it on that one. Like you guys are crushing it. Danny Boy was a good choice. Then Chaz gets on his wand, and he says, "Well, that's us coming into the final round. Let's see which team is gonna be able to pull it all out, all the stops." And he
before the next song starts, I walk over to the other team just and extend my hand.
That's what I was gonna do.
Good. Well, we can all do it. Do it.
All right.
Like to shake their hands.
I want to do a sleight of hand.
Shake their hand for the last.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I think maybe I should roll the sleight of hand check.
Go for it. No, yeah,
that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Okay.
And I'm trying to, as I shake their hand, I'm trying to remove their ring.
Okay.
Oh, you clever guy.
Yeah, so you
Okay,
nice.
For a moment to appreciate, Clovis has just rolled 3 20s in a row.
I know.
So you grab a hold of his hand, and you shake it, and there's no he has no indication what has happened, but you pull the ring from his finger deftly and pocket it.
Are you pocketing it?
Yeah. What do you?
No, I pocket it.
Okay.
So I pocket it, and I turn to Corbin. And I kind of like wink at him, knowing that I might put it on later. I don't know like what this ring even does. Like I don't want to put it on and something bad happen.
Sure. So you shake his hand, steal his ring, and he's none the wiser. He doesn't notice anything. And you do you stay where you are, or do you go back?
I walk back as soon as I shake the hand. I said, "Good luck, guys."
He's like, "Thanks, man. That means a lot. It's one of those songs, man. You guys crushed it. Great job." And he's very like impressed.
Thanks, Brad.
It's Bradley. You know that. You know what? Screw you, man. And So they.
I meant Brendan. I'm sorry.
So Chaz gets on his wand and he says, "So this is it. This is the last round, and it's time for us to rock out." And you hear like this sick bass line just kind of start pumping its way out from the B4 side, and they're playing this super duper heavy metal, like it's just, it does not mix with the hip hop that had been played before. I mean, the pop that was playing before. It's just very like, it's guttural. It's like, it's very heavy metal. And in that moment that first power chord kind of like jams out, you see all the lights, like everything goes like black in the entire place, and there's this slow rise of the lights, and there's like a ballyhoo that's kind of like all the lights are swirling around, and then they focus in as they slowly descend onto one point from all the corners of the room, and it's like it's Brad illuminated, and he's just like, he has this fire in his eyes, and he's ready to be the tiefling. And he like he just kind of starts doing this screamo thing where it's just this powerful, like, you are all taken aback by how like legit the sound of his voice is. And as that happens, you notice that all of the all of the little like places around the room start, things start popping up, and they're just kind of coming from, I have to move all these to the token layer. So you have these things that start kind of like coalescing in the room, and they all start moving towards the center points in the room. Can I get a wisdom saving throw from everyone? Do you guys see most of these so far?
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's getting real, and I wave Spangle up back to the stage to help us potentially play if that's what's going to happen. But
so
I think she's outside.
Oh, is she outside? Oh.
Well, I am peeking. So Spangle is way on over here, and she is looking in. She's looking in through the door. And at this point, she basically has a herd of goats behind her.
Okay.
And whose ring did I take? I took Bradley's ring.
You took Bradley's ring.
Okay.
And I don't know if I put this in the chat or where, but Spangaluxia is currently holding her action for when it seems as though like the other side is being unnaturally enhanced by Chaz, and through magical means, through whatever kind of control mechanism he's got going on there. I'm not sure if Spangaluxia caught onto the rings or not, but you're certainly aware that Chaz was maybe pulling some magical strings behind the scenes to make them appear better than not. So she's waiting for it to seem like Chaz is like pulling some strings, at which point she's going to call the goats in.
Yeah, so you get the sense that some magic is happening, but you don't know if it's the magic of song, like this awesome like riff that Brad just banged out and got the whole crowd from, but you definitely see like there are things that are showing up in the room. So this could be what you consider your cue to go ahead and release that if that's what you would like to do at this point. It's up to you.
Sure. Why
goats?
Well, so the ball. How's the ball? I see there's like a big old green dot in the middle.
Yeah,
so
they just made a lot of ground with the opening of this metal number.
I guess I'll wait one because there's still going to be like 3 rounds pretty much per thing.
Okay.
I think maybe I'll wait until like their next go and then and then release it then.
So you are the one that rolled a 23 on your wisdom save. Are you in the building, or are you looking from outside?
I am, well, so because I'm currently using Mage Hand to kind of like goat bend, I will be, I don't want to do that inside the building under the, because I feel like Chaz knows everything that's going on inside the building. So I'm just kind of like hanging out the door, outside the door, looking in as best I can through the doors, but without actually entering the building yet, so as to not blow my cover.
Okay.
Spangle's cover.
So you are then you don't notice anything yet, but the rest of you you have what's 12s and above. I guess you all kind of you see these and you're like, we've seen this before, no big deal. So you see all of these different bodies kind of like making their way towards various points in the room, and they're all kind of like slow walking, and it's very ominous. Like all of the colors in the room are very like crazy, and it's very much like a scene out of Avernus, which is hell for Faerun, for the world that you're in. And it's like all these devils that have kind of just jumped up into the world, and they're like they're blood hungry, and there's like, there's blood dripping off of all of their fingers or their weapons, and it's very like, it's super metal. It's like this really cool looking scene, and but you all recognize that this is just one of those various tricks of the illusions that have been caught, being up here, and the band. They also recognize them all as just something that is, it is what it is. These are just illusions, and they play on. So it is, who's going to play for this next one?
So I step up, and I'm into metal, and I take a power stance, and I bang out the next couple chords, like not really changing it, just like extenuating the bass line, if I can, and so I'll take the 21.
Yeah. So you're rocking out, and you keep it going. Like you almost like it's borderline like disrespectful, but you kind of like start banging out your bass line over the very end of their number, like of their set, and like continuing it into your own, like taking over a part of their verse, and the crowd is loving it. Like you guys have so won this crowd over that you can do no wrong in their eyes. And Purple Haze just continues to gain ground with every single time you guys play notes. And you notice that the band is like, oh, that's how it's gonna be, okay. And then you finish your side, and you guys are way in the lead, and then you hear they're like, all right, who's next, and they're like kind of trying to decide between them who's going to go up for the next set, and Bradley's like, I got it, and then so he goes up there and he starts to play, and it's really, really good, but there's like something that's missing. Like he's not quite in tune with before, every single note that he played had been like perfectly in tune with everyone else in the group. Like they were, the background of everything was perfectly in sync, and you notice that he's just kind of like, he's a little pitchy, and it's not perfect, but it's still good. Like it's
Release the goats.
So the goats at this point trounce in, and you hear screams of the crowd, and as the goats continue to wreak havoc and mayhem, and you hear the people on the dance floor also start screaming like in fear, because there's these things that are walking through, and they're kind of like making their way and making their presence known into the dance floor. So it's just like total mayhem, and goats are also kind of like scary and demonic anyway because they've got those eyes.
I'm intentionally, so I'm running in after them, acting like I'm chasing, like, no, come back. But I'm really like actually mage handing like the rosemary out in front of them to actually guide them. So, and I'm gonna guide as many as I can, like to trample the booth, and I'll start like mage handing, stuffing the stuff into the machinery, and
this is the
whatever else I can.
This is the big moment. Give me that animal handling skill check. Let me know how this goes.
Boy.
Oh, come on, animal handling.
I've got that same like kind of nervous feeling like when I first started like updating the the homepage to the website we work on. It's like, oh god, here we go.
Is it gonna work? Is it gonna go?
Is it gonna work? Is it?
You've got Bardic Inspiration.
No, I don't
like it at once
for my performance. I have my
you have inspiration.
He does
not
not.
I use my inspiration. I use my inspiration, and bardic inspiration for the performance because I wanted to make sure I nailed it at that point.
So about half of the goats make their way to the booth, and half the goats continue kind of grazing amongst the tables and the around the dance floor and up towards the stage. They're half of them seem controllable by your mage hand, and you can move them around, and about half of them have gone off and done their own thing. So you have partial control of a herd of goats and not control over the rest of them.
Okay.
So are you moving into the room at this point?
I will be moving into the room at this point because I need to guide the 8 that I still seem to maintain control over into like the, and I'll be like, no, not there.
Sure. So with
to the booth.
With that, Bradley is finishing his set, and it's good. It's not great. It's pretty, like, everybody kind of looks at him, and he looks like at the crowd, and he looks down at his hand, and he's like, you see, like, he pulls away from his wand mic kind of thing, and he's like, and like everybody is looking at the rest of the band is looking at him like, and so they pass the verse over to you guys, and who's gonna do this next set?
I can. All right.
Okay.
Corbin's never heard metal before, but he's kind of feeling it. He thinks he could maybe take a shot here. All right.
and I'm like, go Corbin.
I have inspiration. Nope, I don't need it. Okay.
So, yeah, you are crushing it, and there is, everybody is there. There's pandemonium on the dance floor. They're loving the music. They're loving the sound. They're loving everything about it. But there seems to be like a frantic, like fear that these people, these commoners did not. They failed their wisdom save check, and in a moment, what you see as you're continuing to do your wonderful bagpiping is that there is a person that gets tossed to this invisible wall of the dance floor, and it is covered in blood, and blood splatters all over. And a body falls limp to the ground. And
wait, in this dance floor, this colored dance floor?
In the dance floor.
Where we thought there were just images.
Yes. Correct.
And do we all see this?
Can I do a perception to see if
everybody
I see that this thing's real? Or...
Everybody that's in the room sees this for sure. Yes.
Okay.
And everybody, as Spangle, as you move into the room with your 23 that you had
goats,
you recognize, oh crap, these aren't illusions, at least not all of them. So what we're gonna do is call it for the night, and we'll pick this fight up next time on
Was it 19? I didn't notice that.
No, you did not. I know what I said. I asked very specifically who the 23 was and if they were in the room. So we'll pick this fight up next time. And you'll have to figure out what's going on next time on The Real House Elves.
of Newfoundland.
Oh my god.
Metal.
So
Awesome.
yay! You guys, you're gonna get to do this next.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting bloodshed and stuff.
Yeah, nobody
Goodness.
was. We're gonna go ahead and do a 5-minute AFK before we play some Overwatch, and probably do a few minutes of just chatting. But thanks for playing with us, guys, and can't wait for next Monday because you guys get to fight something. It's been too long.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're gonna do a 5-minute BRB, and we'll BRB.
All right.
Thanks for listening.